Alright everybody, diecastmania here and welcome back. Today we're reviewing the new 1/50th scale Hitachi ZX225US-7 hydraulic excavator by Replicars. So this model was recently released in the first quarter of 2023 and is available through Replicars directly or on eBay. So this model is a brand new casting entirely. It replaces the previous Xs 225 USR K-3, and on the back of the box we can see the specifications summed up, and there's a little bit of artwork advertising the new Dash 7 series by Hitachi. So without much further ado, let's get this model out of the box. So as standard per most Hitachi branded models, it comes with the two-part tray with the clear plastic top and the styrofoam on the bottom. The model is enclosed nice and secure within. And we also have this instruction sheet showing you where to put the mirrors on this model. So the model lifts right out of the styrofoam, no twist ties or anything. And here's that previously mentioned set of mirrors on a sprue. We'll get to those in a second. But the model on first impressions is a very nice looking piece, and all it needs is those mirrors to be added on and it is complete. So when you go to fit the mirrors on the model, there's actually a small mistake on the sheet. The mirrors A and B are actually upside down compared to how they appear on the instructions. But once you get that figured out, just get a pair of hobby flush cutters, cut them off, and clip them on. So here is the ZX 225 US-7. Now that US designation stands for ultra short radius. Here we can see the greatly reduced tail swing on this model. In addition to that, the boom, stick, and bucket tuck nice and far up like this to reduce the swing radius on the front of the machine. So the long and short of it, this machine is good for use in urban environments or other restricted sites. So the model also poses really nice for transport. The boom, stick, and bucket functionality is excellent. As we can see here, the bucket curls out nice and far, as does the stick. You have a very good digging depth. Overall, the cylinders on this model work really well, and you're able to position the model just about any way you want. Continuing with the functionality on the model, we have the tracks. They are metal and do look pretty nice, though they don't roll all that well. They are pretty tight. There is a spring tensioner, but it doesn't have that much travel to it. And like all excavator models, the body rotates a full 360 degrees on the undercarriage, and it rotates pretty smoothly. So now we're going to change gears and move on to the detail. There is an opening engine compartment at the top with a painted hinge. The cab door in this model doesn't open, it is casted and fixed, but it does look very nice. The graphics complement it pretty well. We can see on the side of the machine the graphics, again, very nice. We have painted in infill for the vents. And overall, the model just looks pretty clean and nicely done. We have rubber hydraulic lines. They are a little bit lacking in detail, but there is a very nice set of hydraulic lines leading to the boom cylinders. We have one on the side there. Again, looking at the tracks, you can see the chains and the pads, as well as the rest of the undercarriage. The right side of the model, graphics again, very nicely done with that shading on the 225. Taking a close look at the cab on this model, we can see that it has a wiper and all the expected interior details like the seat, joysticks, controls, and the Hitachi name on the back of the seat there. Again, this model has some really nice paint work in terms of decaling, details, everything. The mesh is actually cast in and then infilled with the black paint, so it does really pop out. It's not just a decal. And on the back here, we can see some pretty intricate decaling on the warning logos and that Hitachi name with the metallic silver finish to it, which looks really sharp. Again, looking at the back, we can see the rear-mounted camera, the exhaust, and the antenna on the top of the cab. Now, the detail on this model, the parts that are casted in are just done really nicely. All the body lines are there in the places they should be, and the paint isn't overdone. Taking a look at the top of the model, we can see some more of the details. Again, the opening engine compartment, the anti-slip texturing. The railings on the side are plastic, though they are painted and not just molded. The handrail on the left on the cab is metal. We can see the bolt pattern on the tracks. Again, more decaling on the model. The bucket itself is the standard Japanese market bucket. It attaches via screws, so if you don't like it, you can swap it out with virtually anything you'd like, and it should fit the older 225's quick coupler and bucket / attachment set just fine. Again, here's another look at the top of the model. So overall, it's a pretty solidly detailed model. Now, some of you are probably left wondering, now what exactly is the difference between this and the older 225? So let's jump right into that. So the older ZX225US-7 was made well over 10 years ago now, and was modeled after a demolition spec machine. So despite both being 225s, I believe the only part that actually made its way from the old model to the new one is the undercarriage. Everything else is basically completely changed. You can see on the back of the boom here, the layout of the hydraulic lines is completely different. The stick on the original 225 has a auxiliary plumbing line on there. The newer one does not. We can see the models side by side here, and the hydraulic lines on the boom cylinders is completely different as well. The level of detail on the new 225 is much higher. Between the two 225 scale models, the changes that occurred from the Dash 3 to the Dash 7 models is made pretty apparent, and that's our base level comparison between the two models. And now on to the conclusion of this review. The 225-7 is a really nice model. I would have liked to have had more detail on the hydraulic lines on the boom and stick, though for the price of this model goes for, there's going to be some compromises, and it still looks very clean, nicely done, and well-detailed model that feels very solid. So as always, hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you all in the next review.